What's up, everybody? This is the Jedi. I thought I should come back and redress this because when I did the piece on Quincy Jones, this was one of the charges that he was putting forth in the interview with Vulture. And I was struck by it. Um, I think I can dispense of this rather quickly. Because I don't think I need to do a whole drawn out thing on this, but I do have a few thoughts on it, and I'm interested to hear your thoughts as well. Richard Pryor's widow confirms comedian slept with Marlon Brando. That was the thing that made me go ahead and present this piece to you, because, as I said, it kind of stuck with me. I assume it probably stuck with some of you, and maybe I wouldn't have done anything, but then now his widow confirms. So I thought, let me come back and share my thoughts on it. Now, as I said in the Quincy Jones piece, there was a roast of Richard Pryor. In fact, let me see if I can find that. Just that clip of him saying just that. Okay. I was able to find it. Now, the full roast is a little under an hour. This clip is just over 9 minutes, but I'm not going to play the whole thing. We're just going to play that portion because that's the subject of what we're dealing with in this video. All right, hear this now. You may need to turn up your volume.
This is all in fun. Next, I'd like. Next, just don't tell them about neuropathy. Next, I move. Pa was with me once when I first fucked my first faggot, and he's been holding that over my head for 2 years. I fucked a faggot. I just want to say it now so nobody else can tell.
So there it is. There it is. There it is. And a lot of times with these roasts, you don't know how much is true and what's not, and are they joking, and is it just ha ha kiki, or whatever. But with the Quincy Jones proclamation, and then with the widow saying what she said now, and then, which we're going to get into that and see just what all is she saying. But now then with this clip, it's interesting to note too, there's another portion of this I'm going to play for you. Let me see if I can cue that up. This part I wanted to cue up because he's going down the road. There's different people up there, on either side of him that are, other comedians and stuff, and celebrities that are roasting him. And of course you have Paul Mooney sitting there to our left, his right. And this is what he says about Paul Mooney when he first addresses him. Hear this now.
But I love her dearly. Next to her is what we call Miss Thing.
Miss Thing, he referred to Paul Mooney. Let's hear that again. Let's hear that again. Let's hear that again.
But I love her dearly. Next to her is what we call Miss Thing.
Now, I thought that interesting because, Paul Mooney is kind of suspect, He's kind of suspect. I think we can all agree on that, and that's fine. That's not going to change my love for Paul Mooney. I love him. I love him. I love his defiance and his how bold he is, in his comedy. He puts this enemy on blast, and without apology, and he tells the damn truth. And I love that about him. I love that about him. You know, to me, these other comedians should be bowing when he walks into a room. You know, he will be a huge loss when we lose him. We love Paul Mooney. But anyways, but I thought that was interesting, you know, to that's how Richard Pryor was referring to him, you know. So this all taken in context to me gives this, like, you know, but why I'm bringing this is because, like I say, it kind of stood out for me with the Richard Pryor thing, everybody, and I just really wanted to know, like, what you think about this, you know, was it, because it came as kind of a shock, really, you know, like, what, Richard Pryor was getting down, what? You know, we've heard the stories of Studio 54 and, you know, things like this, you know, and then this was an era of, you know, drugs and, you know, all that kind of stuff. And it's so, you know, I don't know. Damn it. Anyway, let's hear this one more time, and then we're going to go back and hear the read the article and see what was the widow saying.
But we're dear friends, and this is all in fun. Next, I'd like. Next, just don't tell them about Maropasa. Next, I move. Paul was with me once when I first fucked my first faggot. And he's been holding that over my head for 2 years. I fucked a faggot. I just want to say it now so nobody else can tell.
And I don't think that's, you know, like, I mean, like, he was just out there with it. Like, what? You know, like, it's certain things we just not going to joke about, you know. Anyways, let's see what the widow's saying. Let's see what she's saying. Because Quincy Jones made the allegation in a much talked about interview with Vulture. After a very revealing Vulture interview with Quincy Jones, in which Jones alleged, among other revelations, that Marlon Brando slept with Richard Pryor, which I just can't even imagine that. Like, I don't imagine that. I can't. Maybe not imagine it is the word I want to use, but I don't have another phraseology to use right now. Like, I can't. I mean, what were their worlds well, they're celebrities, so of course it's conceivable to believe that Richard Pryor would have known Marlon Brando and Marlon Brando would have known Richard Pryor. So I don't know. Anyways, let's read on. That he slept with Richard Pryor. The comedian's widow confirmed the news on Wednesday. All right. Jennifer Lee Pryor told TMZ that Richard would have no shame about Quincy's statements or Quincy's comments. She also revealed that Richard Pryor was open about his bisexuality, which he detailed in diaries that she hopes to publish later this year. I want to stop and say this. This is the first time we knowing about it. So how open was he about it? You know? But what I do know about the world of entertainment in Hollywood is that there can be a lot of things that the collective industry will hold the secret. Everybody in Hollywood will know it, but nobody says it. So you and I, the general public, we never get to know. But all of them, it's known. It's known. You know, I cite for you Rock Hudson, who was a leading man, you know, back in the day. You know, it was a big leading man, and he was a hunk, and it was always Rock Hudson, and now, my God, and I'm over it. But Rock Hudson was gay, and he ended up dying, I think in the 80s or 90s or something like that. He ended up dying of AIDS or whatever, and then it came out that he was gay and blah, blah, blah. But they knew that in Hollywood. It was known. It was known. You know? I think current day, I think what's his name? George Clooney is that. I believe that, y'all. I don't look, I don't know what to tell you. I just think that. I think George Clooney is like a Rock Hudson, like he's that Hollywood hunk, and he's supposed to be oh my God, and it's George Clooney, and I think the industry is holding the secret for him, because in the case of Rock Hudson, the studio would set up different women with Rock Hudson. The women would know what the deal was, and they'd be on his arm, and they would be romantically linked and all that, and that was just all for show, you know. I also cite for you Rosie O'Donnell, you know, when she came out, in quotations, when she came out, the industry, she said herself, she had been out in the industry forever. People in the industry knew. They knew. Even in the case of Harvey Weinstein, they knew. Everybody in the industry knew. They knew. It was all known. We're just all finding out now. But they knew. All these people going to these events down, they want to wear black and hashtag me too and all the bullshit, and we support women and we da da da. They all knew. It was one of those, again, one of those industry secrets where you and I don't know. But it's a secret that's being held by the industry. They all knew. They knew. So they will hold a collective secret. And I offer those sightings as foundation to make my claim here, so that when his widow says he was open about his bisexuality, then it probably was an open industry secret, but that wasn't known to the public, you know. I also find it interesting that she says, which he detailed in his diaries, that she hopes to publish later this year. So she's seizing the moment to get a coin. I ain't really mad at her. I mean, you'll get you a coin. But interesting the timing, and speaking to TMZ and all of it. In the Vulture interview, Jones recalled spending time with the Godfather star. Brando used to go cha-cha dancing with us, Quincy said. He could dance his ass off. He was the most charming motherfucker you ever met. Can I just say motherfucker is obviously Quincy Jones's favorite phrase? It's just that and man. Man, yeah, man. I love you, Quincy. Anyways, but he goes, he was the most charming motherfucker you ever met. He'd fuck anything. Anything. He'd fuck a mailbox. James Baldwin, Richard Pryor, Marvin Gaye. I want to say this too, y'all. I don't remember whenever Marvin Gaye first ever came onto my radar, growing up and stuff like that, but, and rest his soul, to have your father kill you, that's, wow. I can't even begin to get into, but anyway, when you can go on YouTube and watch some stuff of Marvin Gaye, and it's a little suspect, you know what I'm saying, some of it's a little suspect. Even when he did Motown 25, go back and watch that performance. When he comes out to do his piece, he does this whole long intro. He's at the piano. His eyes are all glassy, and it's a little, as a male, it was a little uncomfortable for me to watch. We love Marvin Gaye. I'm not taking anything from him, and I still love that brother, Because alas, I don't really give a fuck what people do in their bedroom. Like, I really don't care about that. I've never been a nosy person anyway. Like, I'm the type of person, literally, as Allah is my witness, you could leave your most private things in my presence and I won't even touch it. You could leave your diary open on a coffee table. I won't look at it. You understand? I'm just not that dude. If I'm someplace and somebody's on their phone, I tune out. I don't listen in. I just don't have a nosy gene about me. I don't care. And for me, that falls under the nosy category. You know, it just falls under the nose. I don't really care what you do. I don't care. I don't, damn it. You know, if you're not hurting nobody else, then do your shit. But still, I say, I felt a certain way, you know, that this wasn't really surprising when I saw Marvin Gaye's name, you know. And alas, what both of these men have in common is drugs, you know. I mean, well, she's saying right here, okay, Jennifer Lee Pryor added, she also added to TMZ, it was the 70s. Drugs were still good. Yeah, see? Especially Quaaludes. If you did enough cocaine, you'd fuck a radiator and send it flowers in the morning. Excuse me. To read the rest of Jones's interview, which we already read his interview. Um, blah, 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 world musician in the world. Okay, but anyways, so, you know, it was one of those things. And alas, we see with a lot of, particularly black stars, you know, suddenly anything can, you know, their inhibitions are down once you introduce a coin. You know, brothers will do a whole lot of shit that they claim they would never do and all this kind of bullshit when it's a coin and when it's the white man involved. You know, we've seen that at different levels, you know. Um, yeah, it's just, anyway. But I want to know your thoughts on this because, um, you know, even just seeing this picture right now, I'm just I'm struck by. I just don't see it. You know, I just don't see it. But you don't have to be able to see it. You know, I guess that's really kind of the point, in a way. You know, it's odd. You know, um, since this is a revelation, I would be curious now, and based on what the widow is saying, is that he was very open about his bisexuality. Well, who else was he linked to? I think that that would be kind of the next story, really, to know and explore. Well, who else was he linked to? You know? And if he was that open about it, then, because I think Richard Pryor had more than one wife. Don't quote me on that. But am I right, you guys? I don't know. But what about his female romantic interests? Were all of them aware of this bisexuality, and were they okay with it? You know, and we know he was mostly. I want to say he was mostly with white heifers, which they pretty much go for anything. You know, if, you know, so you know, which leads into something else because you know a lot of times when you see brothers dating a white woman, it's because they may have some of those tendencies, and then also it may be the small penis, you know, and you know, and then the cheater, and it's a lot of things that you know that they will just allow because they not up on game, because they not us. So they just allow. So sometimes brothers go with white heifers because they could just get away with more than a sister is ever going to put up with or allow. You know? I just, you know, we kind of need to know who were, like, we're going to do a search now, y'all. We have to do this work. We have to. Let's see who else Richard Pryor was, who his wives were, or girlfriends or whatever. Let's do a search. I'm not really sure how to look for this, you know, but I do also know that, remember, he was involved with Pam Grier, everybody. And we know that Pam Grier now has a white wife and lives on a ranch. Thank you, please. So, obviously she wouldn't have had no problems with him being bisexual. You feel me? Because Pam Grier got her a woman now. I was struck by that. Um, I don't really know how to look this up to get specifically, like a listing of just those women. Seven marriages and many affairs inside Richard Pryor's chaotic love life. Maybe this will yield what we want. Okay. That's him and Pam Grier. I love Pam Grier. I love her. Do you understand me? My God. This is Deborah McGuire. I'm not really sure what her claim to fame was. There's a white apple. Jennifer Lee. That's the chick that's speaking out. That's the one that's saying the shit right now. Is that her? Yeah, that's her again. So she didn't have no problem with it. And like I say, we know Pam Grier has a woman. Let me show y'all that just so you know I ain't lying. Um, Pam Grier's did she ever get married? Lesbian rumors. Um, okay, it's not rumors, y'all, because I saw I want to say it was like TV1 or something. They showed her with her partner. Uh, we can prove. Let's see. We can prove by the examining the rumors of Pam Grier being a real life lesbian. Let's click that. So it says I watched her on the Monique show talking about her book Rerun, and she has, according to Monique, several excerpts about fucking athletes, and she talks about how great pro athletes' bodies are. She has been married. Wait, no. I'm telling you, they have a ranch and everything, dude. Like I seen it. I seen it. This isn't what we're looking for. I know it. I'm just trying to show it to you. Um, she got her a white woman. I'm telling you, I seen her. Because I was surprised. Like, wow, I guess she just went ahead, like, okay, Pam, I guess. You know, she's done it all. Because she was, oh man, I can't even. Anyway, that's your homework. You can go and find this out for yourself. I'm just telling you what I know because I've seen it. That's the only reason why I know it. But I don't want to take up your time searching around for this. So that's your homework. You can go and look for that with regard to her, and her lesbian partner. But what do you think of this? You know, um, it's Richard Pryor, and I can say for me, it was a little stunning, and but I think also it has provoked me now to just kind of want to know, well, who else? You know, it just because I would have never expected. I would have never expected it, and then if they started naming people, I certainly would have expected a Marlon Brando to be on the list. I'm just struck by it, and I'd like to know what you guys think. Last thing I want to say before I go is make sure that you are subscribed to both channels, everybody, because as I tell you, when my main channel had got shut down, a lot of people are still finding me, or finding us, I should say, and I had my channels were connected, my original Jedi channel and the Jedi Revolution. So it caused me a lot of problems to even get the Jedi Revolution channel, under control and get it back and all those kinds of things. So now the two channels are not connected, the Jedi and the Jedi Revolution. All right. So if you are watching me on over here in the right hand corner, you see where my cursor is. That is my icon for my Jedi channel. All right. I'll put the links for both channels in the description box down below, along with the link for this roast, or you can just put it in and search it. That's part of your homework too. Just put it in and search it, and then you can watch the full thing. You don't have to just watch the 9-minute clip. You can watch the full one that's like nearly an hour. And so then my other one is this one. If you see in the upper right hand corner, let me just go to that. Okay, it's not letting me click it. But anyways, I'll put the link for both of them in the description box. Make sure you subscribe to both channels, because that way, if there's ever another event, then we all will be, we don't have to be searching around trying to find, and because a lot of people are telling me that when they search the Jedi channel anyways, the Jedi Revolution comes up, but they're having troubles finding the Jedi channel. Even my nephew told me that. So, there's still games being played, because ultimately they want this platform to be just for white people. They don't want us to have nothing to say unless we're on here talking about absolutely nothing that matters to humanity at all, or they want us to be kissing their ass and acting like there's no problems and like they're perfect and wonderful. I'm never going to be subscribing to that bullshit. Period. I'm a truth teller, and I'm going to speak about the things that I'm passionate about and that matter to us as a people, our liberation and revolution, and I don't give a damn, So it'll just make it easier for yourself if you just make sure to subscribe to both channels. Also, when I release content, sometimes my files are really big. Sometimes I'm too lazy to wait for it to upload to both channels. After you upload to one channel and you wait forever, then you got to go back and do that same process again. Sometimes I'm too lazy. So if you're subscribed to both channels, then you won't miss any of the content that I release. All right. So I think I'm going to leave this one here. It is Tuesday. I hope to be back this evening with my review of the haves and the have-nots for my show review audience. I'm hoping to be back with that this evening, and if so, then I'll see you then. But for now, I leave this one here. This is the Jedi.